7. Number 7.
Okay. So Raja Reddy is someone who has developed along with his IT team. Is that completed, or it's still we have to add points to that?
I think we completed that. You told me that, yeah, but I think let's repeat that. I think.
So he developed a software program in which, if you give the parameters for any plant to conditions of soil, weather, temperature, water, all those parameters, if you give to the program, it will tell in which regions of India it will grow well. India has 127 agroclimatic zones. And we have hundreds and hundreds of crops, plants, not crops.
Right.
But we grow very few of them as crops. The distinction between crop and plant is plant that grows naturally, crop is that we do the farming.
Right.
So at the moment in the entire world, there are no more than 200 are grown as crops. Only handful of them are grown as large scale like rice, wheat, maize, potato. They are the major ones, 4. Maybe another 1, 5 if you consider, but there are no more than 5 which are done at a large scale. Whereas beetroot or some kind of vegetables, cauliflower, cabbage, they are grown but not at the large scale, but still they are considered as crop because they are done for commercial reasons, and it goes on almost in every country wherever it is growing. But the idea of mine to contact Raja Reddy was, out of 127 agroclimatic zones, where in India, which zones are good for growing quinoa, so that when people call me, or even for knowledge sake for the country, we can tell that in these areas, if you grow quinoa, you will be successful. Successful in the sense commercially. Unless it gives a ton of quinoa per acre, it will not be valuable for the farmers. At the moment, the farmer may get only 5,000 rupees per acre profit. But if we add all the science, all the knowledge, and give it to the farmer, then the farmer will get benefited. Everybody says that there is local native intelligence. Agreed, but it doesn't work that way. There's a separate topic that we'll discuss. How 1 in a million be an intelligent person, we just touched recently. But farmers constantly require very thoughtful, scientific or practical tips to make the crop or farming better. Even in US, they will not get more than $100 per acre. But that $100 they are sure to get, whereas in India, they are not sure to get. $100 is equivalent of roughly 5,000 rupees.
Right.
Because even though you are paying a lot of money for the food, the farmer doesn't really contribute anything other than just growing it. And in the chain of from the farm to fork, as they say, from the farm to plate, when they are growing, that's only less than 10% of the effort to prepare your food. The last mile of preparing the food is at the restaurants. Therefore, if a restaurant is taking, say, 100 rupees for a plate of idli, let's say, which is not even 100 grams of actual material, 100 rupees probably is the arbitrary figure. So out of that, the grain, either the black gram or the rice, total weight of that is not even 50 rupees, which the farmer has cultivated. 50 grams. So 50 grams of rice or the urud dal or black gram is sold at 100 rupees a kilo, right? At the most. So 25 grams, yeah, 25 grams is for, let's say, for the urud dal, and the 25 grams for the rice. Even if you say that it is sold at 100 rupees, though it's not true, 50 grams is 1/20th of it. That is 5 rupees. In the idli that we eat in a restaurant, 5 rupees is for the buying of that material. But even in that 5 rupees of the material, the farmer doesn't get the 5 rupees straight because it is not packed by him. It's not processed, it's not packed by him. So farmer roughly gets 10% of it, or to 12%. I already have calculated that very clearly. No more than 12%.
Right.
So out of the 5 rupees, a farmer is getting only 1 rupee to 1.5. Yes.
Oh my God.
In the
After
idli
so much of effort.
That's what I'm coming to. It looks like it's a lot of effort, but when you systematically analyze and see, if you have any good interns, please just let them calculate the idli that you eat in the street, in a middle class restaurant, and in a star hotel. What does a farmer get? Not even 1%.
Right.
So these politicians, farmers, or journalists, or advocates, leftists, whoever is saying that we must support our farmers, what are they thinking? They are not thinking properly. Because any science, any society, any development happens only when it is utmost logical. It may appear illogical to us at the moment because you are too close to what you are seeing. So the idli example, when they are getting only 1 rupee out of the idli plate that is made, and the rest of the 99 is going to various people in the chain. Obviously, the majority of the material, majority of the money is going to the restaurant which is serving you, the last mile delivery. Or if you go and buy in a grocery store, what you buy in Ahmedabad at tamarind, for example, is probably now 150 to 200 rupees a kilo. But at the point of origin, tamarind is only 7 rupees a kilo.
Right.
So society has to make these things proper, and then only his revenue can be increased. In order to do this, there is a lot of work that is required by those who are educated, by those who are intelligent, by those who run the system in the current government. Now everything is government, right? So if they have to be given an advice, it has to come from government. Because even if I go and tell, a farmer may not listen to. There's no authenticity or validity or the usefulness unless they try a few times and they see the results, then they will go on their own. So Dr. Rajareddy's software is going to tell us precisely where it should be grown, where it should not be grown. I have done a manual exercise of where rice should not be grown. Manual exercise meaning taking the data from the internet of the districts as reported by the government, where the rice output is given in tons. Wherever in India, if the rice is not paddy, it's not exactly rice, but it's paddy. If the paddy output is not 2 tons to 2.5 tons, the farmer will lose money.
Right.
So if it is only 4 tons, he will make better money. If the crop is good and if there is no loss in the crop. So in order to bring that knowledge in starting the quinoa, I went to him, his colleagues, wrote me several emails, contacted Padmaraju and others. Nothing really happened, even today. As recently as last year, no, this year itself, in February, March, I was in Delhi with one of the top scientists there. I explained the whole thing. He's in the agriculture and not exactly in the government of India, but he's an international scientist, though an Indian posted in that position, who has like-minded ideas, but even today it didn't happen. So my idea of going to Raj Reddy is to give that kind of specific knowledge, whereas in US, the farmers get precise knowledge about not only of that type, but also of whether, when to sow, when to cut, what is the best period to, and what technical parameters are required to cut the crop harvesting. Whether they do it by manually in India, of course, in India also nowadays the machines are there to harvest. Here, the importance of scientific input is directly related to money. Let us say that the humidity, which nobody could see actually, but we can feel, humidity of the land area in that wherever they have to harvest, if the humidity is very low, which happens regularly based on the wind, based on the sun, based on various parameters, humidity goes up and down. If the humidity is low and the farmer cuts the crop, a lot of grain will fall off.
Right.
From the panicles. There could be a loss of 10 to 20%, depending on the humidity. If the humidity is too much, then the grain may get spoiled. Once you cut.
So many parameters.
Yeah, if the humidity is very high, when you cut, the plant cannot handle. If the grain is on the plant and the land and the soil, even if the humidity is very high, the grain will not be spoiled. Plant will manage itself. But once it is cut, there is no mechanism to manage the humidity by the grain, therefore it will get spoiled. So a precise optimal window of humidity and other parameters are needed for a farmer to get the best output. So for that reason, I said that this is a good idea to see where it will be growing well. And somehow that never happened, even today. Next one. Okay. Letters to APCM, Andhra Pradesh Chief Minister, and was prepared. So there's one Dr. Murthy, who helped me to connect with the Araku Valley to start the growing of quinoa in India. He has done a very big help because has a lot of knowledge. He was developing the ragi varieties in India. He has developed at least 25 different varieties of ragi that are better than the previous wild types or naturally occurring ragi. So he suggested that when I met him in Vijayanagaram in his office, Araku Valley is a good location where it can be planted well. And there are thousands and thousands of acres of land belonging to tribals. They don't do any farming in a very systematic way. They will actually spread the seed about what is called as broadcasting mechanism. And after a few months, if there is crop, they will go cut. But they don't do the regular farming like the other farmers in the plains do. In general, there could be plenty of variations and exceptions. So he introduced me to Vikasa, an organization working for those people. And the chief of that organization is Viswam Parimi. He is a scientist who did masters in agriculture and almost decided to work only in the villages, not for profit, and develop agriculture and the farmers. So with his help, we went and did all the experiments that we did. So those details will come in other chapters, I guess, but we can pull back and forth once you got all the material. But for this point now, he happens to be the advisor after his retirement to the AP government on agriculture matters. He is the advisor for the principal secretary of agriculture of state of Andhra Pradesh.
Mm-hmm.
So he said that with your kind of thinking, if this has to happen, I asked him this question, because of your experience, if government has to support it, in what form it can support and how much money it will take, how many years it will take. He said it will take at least 5 years to establish a proper seed. And good amount of research is required. Which means at the time when we were trying to plant, the seed may have 300, 400, 500 different varieties of seeds within that, whatever seed that we say, single seed, it is not uniform. Out of those hundreds of them, we have to figure out which particular seed is good for that land and which particular seed will have the highest nutritive values, which particular seed will give the most optimal output, and that actually becomes the seed for the farmer. Because unless farmer plants such a seed, he will not get enough crop, and if he doesn't get enough crop, it will not be interesting for him to continue to work on this particular crop. If he doesn't continue, then the chain will break. Meaning some farmers will start and stop, and maybe some other farmers will start and stop, and there will be so many such attempts unless we have proper seed to start with to put in the hands of the farmer. The kind of seed that I was giving is not right. Because of our past experience with the soya. Soya also was introduced in India, but it took several years for soya to sustain and become a proper agricultural material.
Right.
Why? Because there was no research. So both of us sat and I was asked to prepare a proposal. I prepared a proposal. The proposal is to support quinoa research center in India with 25 crores, 5 crores per year, with an office, lab, scientists, and the most appropriate quinoa seed for, say, Rajasthan, compared to Andhra Pradesh, compared to West Bengal, can be developed with that kind of money and planning. So that application was made, and he told me that he and another person, Kalyan Surapneni, his family was probably connected to the chief minister because they belong to the same caste. Chandrababu Naidu was the chief minister, who is a Kamma at that time. Kamma is a caste name. So they have taken this application and given to him. Obviously, when you meet all these people, politicians, they get hundreds and hundreds of memorandums, requests, applications, suggestions. There is no doubt about it. I can understand that. But we never heard back from them, from Andhra Pradesh. So is the case with Telangana. After separation, the same lines of thought were given to Telangana. Nothing came out of it. Initially, it was given to Anandiben, as I said, mentioned earlier, where salt-affected lands in Gujarat are going to be very fertile, very useful for this purpose. It didn't happen. Rajasthan, we gave it through Aditya. I mentioned there is another, in the context of Ramdev Baba and all we discussed, but they thought they don't need this kind of center. Their scientists said that we can do the experiments. We don't need a new center. Their agriculture people said, we'll give the seed and see what happens. So the minister made public announcement, gave seed to many, many people, and they could not guide them properly, and they could not bring them to market properly, and the whole program fell apart. Then the same was sent to Uttarakhand, because when I was in Dehradun, when people came to know through my friends that I'm doing this kind of thing, which is very good for high altitude or less water resources, no rains, that kind of thing, particularly mountain regions. One IAS officer thought that this is a very interesting proposal because it will stop the people on the mountain regions to stay there rather than to come to the plains, which is a burden on the government and the system. There we didn't make any formal application, but the concerned IAS officers and us, we interacted, but nothing specific happened. And the latest one is I was in Leh in August this year, and we submitted the same to the Leh Agriculture Council. It's already November. We haven't heard anything from them. But when we met the man in charge, very well educated, not from the agriculture, I guess, but said that this is very interesting and so on and so forth, but no. So the efforts to get the government to do things from my end, probably I tried, but I'm not that kind of a person where I will do anything and everything to get my things done. That is my conclusion.
Right.
If somebody were to be in my position, probably they would have made quite a bit of way ahead. Instead of showing 25 crores that is required, maybe you make it 100 crores. I know how the system works. And find the right kind of politician and get the 100 crores. But maybe the center gets only 25 crores and the 75 crores will go to him or to the system or wherever. Would that be? Certainly that is achieving goals. There's no doubt about it. But am I principled not to do that? Not exactly principled alone. I didn't have the wherewithal also. And why did I bring up this point? Because there was another minister who was not the then Minister of Agriculture, but he is a former minister. Just a few months back, he lost his position or he moved to some other thing. He was not a minister, but he came and met me at a restaurant to discuss this.
Oh,
His name is Pullarao, Patti Pullarao.
okay.
But he and his people told me that he can get anything done. But somehow I did not pursue for one reason, that I don't know what kind of plan that they have
In their mind.
And I asked them always to send mails, that no one sent any mail. And therefore I thought that if they're not sending mails and everything is on the phone, we don't know where we will land at.
Some kind of shady.
It's not shady. That is how the Indian system works. I have a practical personal experience a number of years ago, previous to this effort. I proposed that we should computerize the entire Telugu literature. And made a lot of presentations in universities, professors, that this is the need of the hour because we are transitioning from book to digital.
Right.
The book will vanish. In the history of time, presence of book is of no big consequence because book is a limitation in spreading knowledge. Earlier, we thought that book has no limitation. That is actually spreading knowledge much faster, yes, but it has a limitation beyond which it cannot. It can spread the knowledge, but only limited time and the limited sense. For whatever worked for the humans for thousands of years is the oral tradition. Only that will prevail. Because every word that is said has at least several different connotations, meanings, contextually, with the phonetics and the way in which it is said. That are all that will be missed in a book, and only one view is presented at the most, fairly well if the writer is great. If the writer is average, even that particular view also is not presented well. And it is not presented well or the best way to the reader, because if the reader also has no ability to grasp it or understand it. So the knowledge in somebody's brain or the information in somebody's brain, when it is put in text and the book and read by somebody, a lot of it is lost. That is the precise reason why we stopped exchanging only files and decided to have a Zoom call and talk about each point. So for that,
Right.
I received some money from the government. It is very simple. I didn't make any effort. The government said that, okay, when I am present, they will give the check. They actually made a video, photo shoot in giving the check. But the goal is not reached completely. We estimated with that money about 2 lakhs books are there in Telugu at the moment. And even after removing the duplicates and other things, and at least 1 lakh of books should be preserved. In digital form. But that project, after receiving that money, it fizzled out. And again, my nature and my position, my situation and my location and my disposition did not do any positive contribution to that reaching the goal. I'm sure there are so many who try with good intentions, but unless the system is so rough, unless good intention doesn't really produce the good result, for that terrain, if you want to traverse, you need a different gear. So with these politicians, and it did not materialize, but I have no doubt in my mind, in the next 5 or 10 years, one person with whatever I'm missing would come with this, and it will happen. And the grain and the quinoa seed specific better will be established.
Definitely.
So giving seed to farmer is one aspect, but that is only pushing the seed for the farmers to grow. So there must be pull in the market or pull in the society to use quinoa. The pull actually comes from doctors.
Yes.
Even today in Indian society, a doctor is respected very well. And if the doctor gives the right advice or any advice, it is taken very well compared to anybody else. And therefore, I tried with many doctors to ask them to present this. And only very few, 1 or 2, have taken interest. But there was not a consistent effort in that. But at the same time, there's sorry.
No. Please continue, because I'll give my I had one point in my mind. First you complete, then I'll say.
So the doctors, what they suggested is that every Indian Medical Association meeting every month, almost all cities will have Indian Medical Association meetings. In those meetings, if you serve quinoa as a dish again and again, people may like it, then they will. But in order to do that, it requires a lot of money, a lot of organization, and my presence constantly, because they expect me to come and talk. It is not just sending the quinoa. I have to be there too, because they don't want to take the responsibility of explaining to the other doctors. So that is the point number 9.
Right.
And it occurred to me that in one of my friends suggested that I have a very big connection, family friend, who is very big into the good fertilizers and fats, 3F company in Tadepalli Gudem. That's a town. They were very big. So I was introduced to that gentleman, the owner of that company. He was highly excited. And he was very appreciative. And he has all the required setup, business mind to make it big. But he said that unless it is of several thousands of tons and export only, I will not get into this.
Oh.
So I have spent some time with him, but so that is maybe different business people. And this under this point, the same category is Ramdev Baba. Under the same category, there is one Qatar. There's a Prasad. He is no more, but he's one of the business persons who contacted me because of quinoa. By then, they have a seed company called Amaraswari Seed. In 20 states, they were growing seeds, selling seeds, and he and his brother and his family members are doing the business. We have sailed well for a while, and in fact, they went to Bolivia also at my suggestion. By then, I already visited Bolivia. They visited Bolivia, Peru, and they got the seed illegally, and they started growing on their own.
On their own?
Yes.
Oh, So what about you then?
Excluded, because once you know everything, once you know where the seed is, what it is, and they are now, their brand now is called Nourish You.
Okay. Typical politics.
Yeah, they have excited me, saying that this is a great solution for malnutrition, and they have taken me and made me present in various places. But eventually they see that what is that you are contributing? They are asked point blank, what is that you are contributing for making the money?
Your time, your energy, your research, what about all that?
Done. We already got it. So why do we need you later? If all those things are needed sustainably, unless I'm there, if they can't sell, they make and sell it, yes, they would pay me a salary or commission or whatever. So
I have one suggestion here.
Yeah.
Right. Sorry for interrupting. Like what I was thinking after I saw the packing of quinoa, it was written weight loss, it supports for that, then diabetes, you can say for good health. And especially after Corona, if you see, people have become very health conscious. They
Yeah.
are focused more on, all these things. So I would say that this is something. I think there are a lot of clinics all over Gujarat and all over India who are going for weight loss, who are going for this thing for diabetes. They have endless patients. Why not have a tie-up with the chain of because they are present all over India. Because see, ultimately वो क्या बोलते हैं ना, हिंदी में बोलते हैं जो दिखता है वो बिकता है. This is the
So I need
fundamental.
somebody to no, definitely that's a good point. We'll change that. Yeah.
I'm here.
Oh no. Oh, I see. Okay. That point of good health certainly can be put on that. Even today, we can make a sticker, because these stickers are the way that we are operating is at a very shoestring budget. So that sticker is already made, printed, and it is stuck onto that plastic bag, and it's filled and sealed, and that is how it's sold. So the
Right.
next round of stickers, we can change the design to such an extent, some extent, but if you can mark on the sticker where you think that good health should be there for good health, or some 3 words, we'll make a circle kind of thing, round sticker, and I'll ask my people to stick it onto the bag right now. Eventually we can later, when we come to do this sticker again, we can include it in the printing itself.
Right. And even what I was thinking, because while I was cooking the quinoa, what I was thinking, on the back cover we can like it was written how to prepare that, right? Just so after some time we can even on your company's website or somewhere some exotic dishes about because people like some changes also, because if they continue eating this food they want different recipe kind of thing also. That I was just thinking an idea, something which, because you are the better judge, like something so that, like, with soya is eaten as a, flour also. We are eating rotis, and it is put in various dishes also. We make soya, curry also. So many things. So quinoa also, in order to become famous or make it a kind of a household item for good health, as well as, people like both the things. It should be healthy also, and it should be having various kind of, available in various forms also. So it can be cooked somewhere in a liquid form or somewhere in some other form. So then people will get a taste of, you know because for health also it's good, and it's children also enjoy that, adults also enjoy that. So something like that I was thinking.
Okay, I'll combine these
So
two ideas.
because see, soya, as far as I have seen, since childhood I have been eating soya in various forms. So wherever you talk about soya, people, of course, it is a very old product, but people now, they are preparing different recipes. So now it has become a household item. So
Yeah,
something like that.
I'll combine these 2 points, and now we'll design a sticker, a
Hmm.
round sticker, on which it says
Hmm.
for good health. We can put a QR code and say for good
Right.
health, scan. And when they scan, they land at our website page where several recipes, Quinoa cookbook, the place where you download it, has this Quinoa cookbook for free. They can download the book or they can visit the book. So we'll combine these two, but take a picture and mark where this sticker can be and what maximum size we can use it. And
Okay.
putting these two things right away is possible within a week. Right away, meaning for the coming 1 or 2 weeks, they will be out. Because first we have to generate QR code, that's 1-day job. And after generating the QR code, that we have to give it to the printer and the text and the design of the sticker. It will be done.
Okay.
Thank you. And coming to the point that you said that you will coordinate, let me know how you wish to
I'll send
handle that.
you. Yeah. One thing is, I have been to a lot of, because I was working for, long back I'm talking, but I've been into marketing field for many years, almost 22 years, and I've been visiting, because at that point of time I was, you can say, I was representing a company who was again dealing with health conscious. That was more about water, but I visited a lot of clinics, diabetes. Then I visited a lot of weight loss. There is one organization, I have forgotten the name. They are into this bariatric surgery. They are having chain of hospitals all over India. So when I visited them, I found that whatever the doctors suggest to those patients, that you have to have this food, except that you should not eat any other food. Okay,
I'll make
so
it very
why not
simple. Yeah, I'll
Yeah,
make it very simple. We have a full book of 200 pages,
yeah.
right, about the health benefits, number 1. Number 2, we have the grain and we can give to you at 50% of the MRP. You decide how the rest can be handled, because 1 kilo is 400 rupees. Generally, anywhere it is around that, but we can give at 200 rupees to you, and the remaining one is a necessary burden for the people. Unless we have that money, people will not be able to talk about it. Doctor needs a cut, and if you are spending time, you need a cut, and you have your taxes, you have your transportation, you have your time, and the doctors. All these 4 require the remaining 200 coming from the public. So think about it and send me a separate thing. So now we have another 11 minutes time.
Okay.
So
Yeah. Let's
the
come to
Akira
the
Endo
last
is
point.
done. Akira Endo is done, but not, we did not start Norman Borlaug. We'll start that tomorrow
Hmm.
because
Okay.
it cannot be completed again anyway. But now tell me,
So this is complete now presented to big business people. That is what we had discussed.
yes, that's the last
Number
point.
10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And still nothing happened. So my point is, take the Akira Endo chapter example. We have completed the Akira Endo discussion, right? And make the chapter and use this material that is discussed now in these 10 points and see how you can make these entire content on the Zoom recording must be in the chapter. Don't worry about the pages. Whatever may be the number of pages, eventually we'll edit it to meet the required pages, not by the limitation, but by reading, it should make sense. We thought that every chapter should have 5-6 pages, because some chapters could be even less. But even if it becomes 10 pages, don't bother, just make it first as an experiment and see how to cut it. Cutting is very easy than rather adding at the end later.
Right. I'll do.
So once I get the Akira Endo chapter, then we will have the idea of the timeline too. So at the moment, what is your estimation? Because I was asked to send the cover page, synopsis, and details to this Pravasi Bharati Divas in Indore. And I have to do that in the next 1 or 2 days. I got another view completely. The one that I made was a very simple cover page. If there is no other way, that would simply be sent. But I was looking for alternatives and I got an alternative, and tomorrow probably I'll get the final one prepared by him. And I'll show that to you. And with 1 or 2 minor changes, tomorrow itself, we'll finalize that cover page and back cover design. It's complete. It will be, we don't have to do anything more except a minor change here and there to go with one cover page, because it's not the cover page. It's not just the content. There's so many factors that are required for the success of a book, but focusing too much on just cover page is not that helpful. Yes, the people judge the book by cover.
Right. right.
So what is your current estimate?
Send me the recording, and I've already prepared the transcript of yesterday's Saturday's recording. This chapter, remaining this one, I'll add to that, and then I'll do the editing.
Okay, but right now, what is your estimated timeline?
Okay, see, we have already completed 5 chapters, like on Zoom and this transcript. We have already done 5 till Akira Endo, right? That editing, of course, is pending of 4 chapters. So I think we have 32 chapters. So we need to sit for 27 chapters. That if you count 27 days.
A month.
A month, you can say. So I would say, right, for getting the complete structure of the book. So another, if you take, a week or so, so I think today is what, 7th. So by 10th of December, we can complete.
10th of
December.
Okay. As of now, the first draft will be by 10th of December. But if we make it rolling cycle model, by 15th of December, we'll have the last chapter also reviewed by somebody else, not you and me. And by December 15th, can we expect the review of some outside person? And then after that review is done, then it go to the printer.
Yeah.
Which means between 15th and 20th, it will go to the printer. Though it is a Christmas time, Christmas is a big thing here, but not there. We have to find a printer we have to talk to a printer right now, or a publisher right now, who can make us a copy during that period, which means 26th of December to 6th of January. 10 days time, they have to give us a copy so that in Indore, it can be displayed.
Right.
And the alternative is we will not make the final one. We'll make only 5-10 copies for the release. And by the end of January, I'll be in India. And we finalize the book by end of January, and it will be printed. By February, it will be done.
Okay. But we keep our deadline like we should
10th and
finish
15th.
by 10th of December.
10th of December and 15th of December for final even print ready copy.
Right. Because if we keep on, extending, then it will never, happen. Because, always page will keep on filing. So better we keep a deadline. And of course, then initially you can take out 5-6 copies just for the event. Later on, we can do it at a very systematic way.
Okay.
Right?
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah. Still, there is 5 minutes more. Anything else that you want to talk?
Yeah. You told me to find about demand.
No, it's getting cut. Can you say it again?
Okay.
Now cut your video, please. Maybe that will help the. Hello?
1 second.
Yeah. If we can talk and yeah.
Okay.
If the audio is good.
Yeah, I can hear you. Hello.
Yeah.
Okay, so that Amazon print on demand, I searched about it, and what they are doing is they are asking the writer or the person who wants to get it published to upload the the PDF copy. Hello.
Yeah.
And what they are doing is they are not charging anything. It is free of charge, but they have a system of royalty. Like that clarity still has to be done. Like somewhere they have written about 35%. So whenever the order is there for the book, they print the copy and send it to the reader. But the royalty which the writer or the author receives is after 60 days.
How much percentage royalty is received? 35%?
They have, see, in 2-3 places there is a little bit clarity is not there. Like some places they have written 35%, somewhere somewhere 50%, and somewhere 15%. But I still have to find out which is the right amount of royalty. But thing is, they are not charging anything initially. Only thing is they are providing a platform where it's like in, I think, this Kindle, where this one is the book is available for sale, and whenever the order is placed, it is fulfilled by Amazon. So this is the support which they are giving. Only thing is we need to have a clarity, like whether they are giving royalties properly on time, and what is the system, because they are writing that it will be deposited in the account after 60 days.
Yeah, I have no problem in believing them that they will deposit the money. That's not a problem. Number one, whatever they agree. Because the US system is a very different one. If they want to cheat one customer like me, and if their auditor finds that I am cheated, then it will become a court case for them.
Oh.
And the penalty is millions and millions of dollars by the judge, even though they save, let us say, $100 on me. But the judge will impose at least Amazon, nothing is less than $100 million as a penalty.
Oh.
So Amazon will not resort to such bad practices. That is the deterrence for every single product that is sold in United States. Major companies, they cannot cheat. They don't want to cheat, not cannot. They don't want to cheat because the negative of cheating one person is so negative, so horrible that the punitive, it's actually, they call punitive punishment. of
Right.
of the penalties.
Right.
So if they are giving
Right.
35%,
Hmm.
I don't see any reason why we can't go with them, because even if we go through all the hassle,
Hmm.
we don't even make 35%.
Right. Only is, I just only have one doubt. I feel that only thing is like, what about copyright of the book?
It will be with me. That's not a problem. They will not take it.
Yeah,
But so my
but
suggestion is this.
you
Yeah.
have to.
My suggestion is take an Excel sheet and prepare 3 columns. First, what is the parameter? What is that? For example, how to load, what is that? And in the first column, of course, put Amazon, what they are asking. In the next column, put with your experience, what publishers require.
Right.
In 2-3 days time, we will fill the sheet.
Okay.
And then we'll decide, because that is very easy for us, right?
Yeah.
We are not thinking that we'll make millions on this.
But the marketing of the book needs to be done by you, because normally when you are going through a publisher, the marketing part is being taken care by the publisher, right?
Right.
They
That's what I'm
make sure
saying.
that it is.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. If you consider that, if there is a publisher who is ready to do this,
Right.
instead of 10 copies on Amazon, if the marketing guy does 1,000 copies, this is what I told you earlier. Even if he gives us less money
right
per copy, if he sells more copies, that is fine with us.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll do that.
Shall I stop?
Yeah. Okay.